Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. I am your host, Jeff Crilley. I'm the CEO and founder of Real News PR, and we just relaunched our show after a 2-year hiatus. And I'm so excited to have my guest, Zach Herbert. He is he's an entrepreneur, he's a Marine, and he is a personal injury attorney. Welcome to the show.
Well, great to be here.
And I want to introduce my producer. I'd be remiss if I didn't introduce Matt Stoker. Say hi to the audience.
Hello, audience. How are you? Great to be back.
Do you still go by Stoker Ace?
No, well, I guess I could still go by it if somebody wanted to start calling me that again, but not professionally, no.
Matt was afternoon personality at KLIF, and, and his nickname was Stoker Ace, Matt Stoker.
Pretty cool.
Not self-applied.
So, Zach, I'm fascinated. How did you get into the practice of law?
Oh, I was a theology major
Wow.
in college, and I thought I wanted to be a pastor. And when I realized that wasn't probably going to be the right fit for me, I realized now I have a theology degree, and nobody really wants to hire somebody for that. The same skills, I think, to go into being a pastor, go into being a lawyer. So I use those same skills of talking to people, counseling people, interpreting the law. I think I already had those built up, and so law school was kind of it was a no-brainer for me.
Wow. And that probably helps you, because if you're dealing with personal injury victims, sometimes you're coming into their life at a real low point in their life, aren't you?
It's true. All of my clients have something horrible that has happened to them. So it's a crazy business to be in. And a lot of people don't know where to turn. They don't know who to talk to. And here I am using those same muscles that I learned back in the day still to this day.
I love it. And another thing that really impressed me is that you're a Marine. And if you just Google Marine and ethics, there's a whole list of qualities that go along with being a Marine. Talk about that.
Sure. The Marine Corps values are honor, courage, and commitment. And those are in order of importance for Marines. I think my favorite thing was, even back whenever we were first training at Officer Candidate School, the honor thing came first. And that meant integrity. That meant telling the truth even if you know it's going to get you in trouble, not hiding your flaws, and owning everything. And once I got that beat into me, as well as experiencing it with all of my fellow Marines, I felt like that's something that I have to put in my daily ethos and in my business, and I am.
Let's talk about that. How does it play out in your life as an attorney?
Well, I'll tell you, attorneys are not necessarily known for being the most honorable profession, at least in my experience. I've heard a few attorney jokes. You ever heard an attorney joke before?
Heard a couple.
Okay, I was just saying. And there's that movie with Jim Carrey called Liar, Liar. That doesn't do us any good, for a while. There's plenty of those. But I think that that's what's so refreshing about having an attorney that puts that first, puts honor first, puts truthfulness, and really just, we called it open kimono in the Marine Corps. Just making sure that you got all the tools, you got everything that you need to be able to make a decision in your case, and I'm going to give you advice. And that's what I do with all of my clients.
And I imagine the discipline that goes along with being a Marine plays out every day in terms of research for a case, and just your diligence to punctuality. And I mean, 7 meant 7 in the Marines, doesn't it? It's
right.
Not 7:01.
I mean, to be early is to be on time, right? To be on time is to be late. I think really that the best training I got was when they sleep deprived us and then had us take tests. It was the craziest thing. I had just taken a bar exam, and now here I am, and I've got 4 hours or less of sleep a night, and I just need to remember 1775 or something like that. And I remember thinking, this would be so much easier if I could just sleep. And in fact, those tools that I used from there, I use more in my life with 4 kids. I don't sleep anymore, and I have 4 kids, and so I've trained for this, and I'm ready to be productive even when I have a baby screaming at 3 a.m. Right?
Wow. And being a dad and a family man, I mean, that's important too. You can relate to your clients, can't you?
Yes. First of all, everybody either has a mom or a dad, and most people have sisters or brothers or kids of their own, and that really goes into relating to the jury in these cases. Whenever one of my clients is not able to pick up their kid like they used to, I know what that's like. I know how important it is just to pick up your kid, which to somebody without children may not understand how important that is. That's nothing that you can put a price tag on, right?
Yes.
And so unfortunately, whenever we're in a personal injury case, the only thing we can ask for is compensation. And that is worth something. That's what we have to get a jury to do at the end of the day.
So for the people watching right now who are like, I may have a case, but I'm not sure if it's a case, what's the experience like? They call you up, they make an appointment. What is that like?
Sure. One of my major tenets is communication. And so I want to communicate with my clients in whatever way is easiest for them. So I can do a FaceTime meeting or over the phone. I have the ability to text all of my clients, so we'll text. And if they just want to talk on the phone, let's just talk. We'll talk in person, and I can explain to them, look, this is my experience. I've tried a lot of jury trials in Dallas and all the surrounding counties, so I can tell you this is what juries tend to do. This is what juries tend to not do. And usually I look at cases with an eye towards trial, even though most cases don't go to trial. Most cases settle without going to trial. So I give those stats to my clients so they can make a good, well-informed decision.
And being a trial attorney is important, too. There are others who practice law, but they've never seen the inside of a courtroom.
There's there's surprisingly a lot of attorneys that say that they're personal injury attorneys, but they don't actually know where the courthouse is. And that's alarming, because I think, and I can't prove this, but I think that insurance companies, who are the major people on the other side whenever I file a lawsuit, keep track of that. And you hire an attorney that never goes to trial and doesn't have any stats for that, that insurance company knows that they're not going to take, or they're going to take less money than the next guy, and so they can get that case for cheap. I think that happens.
So what, in every profession there's the thrill of victory. What is the thrill of victory like for you?
I think the thrill of victory is when I get a settlement done for a client and get them more than what they were expecting. And I like to close all of my cases in person, even though I have the ability to do everything electronically. I almost insist that my client come to my office so I can shake their hand and show them all the documents, close their case out, and leave happy. And that happens a lot, and it's my favorite part of the job.
So when I was a news reporter, I always used to laugh at the way Hollywood would portray reporters and say that's not the way it really is. What's your favorite courtroom movie that actually resembles real life?
Oh, it's got to be Officer and a Gentleman. No, A Few Good Men. A Few Good Men.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth. That one, I get it mixed up with Officer and a Few Good Men, because I like to joke that it was actually based off of my career in the Marine Corps, and that joke only works for people that aren't old enough to have actually seen that movie.
Right.
Because Tom Cruise is definitely a lot older than I am, but. I did have a colonel on the stand when I was a JAG in the Marine Corps, and I was cross-examining the colonel, and it was the scariest moment of my life, because we're meant to be respectful of the chain of command and the rank, and it's hard to cross-examine somebody and also be incredibly respectful at the same time.
Wow.
But we got it done, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, we're out of time for this show, but give everybody your website so people can get a hold of you.
Sure, it's www.zherbertlaw.com. That's Z for Zach. Or you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, at Herb Law Group.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being a great guest, and
Thanks,
we'll have
I appreciate
to have you back. And that's it for this episode. We'll see you next time.